New Mutants issue 13 finds Magik calling Cable and Cyclops, who are currently in the middle of something. Magik says that she's actually calling for Cable, telling him to get back to Krakoa now and bring the light of Galador. Magik tells Cable that they all need to go to Otherworld and to fight for Krakoa there. Cyclops asks if there's a time frame on this, but Magik knows that it's minutes or hours. She's not really too sure, only knowing that it's important. Scott agrees to be back as quick as possible, told by Magik that they can maybe make some plans up in the meantime. Elsewhere, Cypher talks with Warlock, telling him that he's going to die. Warlock knows Douglas is worried, and the man reveals that he feels like he's not pulling his weight, and while everyone is out questing for swords, he already has his in Warlock, which he supposes they aren't keeping a secret anymore. He knows that there's something deeper to this and wonders why they were chosen. Warlock says that maybe he was chosen by Lady Opal since he would have more time to prep, since he already has the weapon, and maybe Opal saw this. Warlock returns to Cypher's arm, transforming into the sword so the two can practice. Warlock says that they can work as one, wanting him to swing the sword and show that they can work as a unit. Douglas finds the weapon is very heavy, as Krakoa hopes that he won't chop down any trees while training. Magik appears, planning on helping Douglas train with his weapon, teaching him his first lesson is to make sure he brings his sword to a sword fight, and his second one is to know how to raise it. Magik attacks, with Douglas barely parrying it, causing Ilyana to cut a tree in half. Douglas yells at her to lay off the trees, but she continues to attack, beating him down onto the ground. She tells him if he loses his sword fight, he will die for good, and Douglas understands, but Magik wants to know why he signed up for this. Later, Krakoa and Cypher argue, garnering Xavier's attention. Douglas wonders what happens when the Helion's plan doesn't work, but Xavier says there is so much they don't know about this contest of swords, but if there is a way to prevent any mutant lives being lost, then they should at least explore it. He wonders if this is what he and Krakoa are arguing about, since if the island has concerns, he should be allowed to voice them. Douglas says that the island wanted him to present an idea to the council about someone else going in Douglas's place. Xavier reminds him the island's voice needs to be heard, and Douglas knows that, and that's what Krakoa is worried about, since if he was to die, the island would have no voice. But the rules are set, and he was chosen as a sword bearer, and he doesn't want anyone else to go in his place, given what's happening with the resurrections. He tells Xavier that he needs to prove himself, and Xavier is glad, but he would rather none of his children put their lives on the lines, hoping Mr. Sinister's team is successful in their mission. Later, Douglas continues his training under Magik, who critiques the man on everything he is doing, leading to him getting cocky and Magik smashing him in the face with her fist. Krakoa soon grabs the woman, restraining her for hitting Cypher. Magik demands the island unhand her, since it's not helping in his training if it's coddling him. Douglas gets the island to let her go, and Magik ends their lesson, telling the man that she's just trying to keep him alive. Douglas finds that funny, since she keeps hitting him, something he wishes she would stop doing since his face is his moneymaker. Douglas knows that he wasn't going as bad as Magik said he was, but Magik reminds him that they are up against Apocalypse's children, all whom are well-versed warriors and have lived nothing but war and violence for years, so not doing bad is not good enough. Leaving, Magik tells Douglas that when the battle begins, he needs to stay close to her. Later on, Douglas talks with Warlock, thinking Magik doesn't think he knows the stakes, but he's willing to put his life on the line, and that matters. The arriving Exodus agrees that it matters, but no one will sing songs of the man, since his skill is language, not battle. Exodus knows Krakoa is begging him not to go and begging him to find a replacement. Douglas isn't happy that Exodus read his mind at the meeting, but Exodus doesn't care, grabbing him and telling him that there is a loophole, since if Douglas was to die right now, the council would be forced to offer up a replacement, which could well be Exodus himself. Warlock tries to protect Douglas, but Exodus waves him off, saying that he doesn't stand a chance, but Warlock knows that between him and Krakoa, they do, demanding the man release Douglas. Exodus does so, telling the man that this is the only way to save mutant lives and he needs to consider it. Warlock comes to Douglas's side, wondering if he needs to go to the healing gardens, but Douglas tells his friend he just needs to rest. Later on in his room, Douglas is met by Mondo, who tells him Krakoa won't leave him alone and the island is trying to contact Douglas. Krakoa takes Mondo over, telling him Exodus was right and another must be sent in his place since he is too important. Krakoa says that he can hide the man and put him in exile until this over, and while he won't be comfortable, he will be safe. Douglas refuses, knowing that he cannot run and hide from this since he was chosen, and if he doesn't go, it is likely Lady Opal won't accept a replacement for him, and even if they could replace him. He wouldn't want another mutant to die for him. Douglas is aware he might not return and he is terrified, but the island needs to let him do this. Douglas goes back to train with Magik, impressing the woman as he uses his powers to read the way Magik will move. He learns through her body motions that Magik is holding back, but the woman stops the battle, saying that she is proud of Douglas's progress. He wonders if he has a chance, but being truthful, Magik says that if he raises his sword and fights, it will be the last thing Douglas ever does, and there is nothing he can do to stop it. Despite this, Cypher joins the casting circle, adding his sword to the circle. New Mutants issue 13 did a damn fine job securing another Sword Bearer for the X-Men, while also giving Cypher some fantastic character development, helping the character grow and mature, and as he says in his own words, begin to pull his weight on the island. I really enjoyed Douglas setting out to prove everyone wrong and prove that he can do this, and he's more than just the language guy on the island, even if that means he will possibly die, and probably will die. I like the island also becoming a little angered and saddened and worried that he would die and leave him voiceless. So on top of the X-Men dying for good, we also have another high stakes gamble in that if Cypher was to die, Krakoa would be left voiceless and would be left out of conversations, and I wonder what that could mean for the X-Men living on the island. Magik being Cypher's teacher was really fun, and I can't wait to see their relationship grow over the course of this event as sort of a mentor-mentee sort of thing. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10.